would cry. Oh, baby. Oh, I would cry. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Don't you? Oh, baby, baby. Oh, baby, oh. Baby, don't you? Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Then I would cry. Oh, baby, then I would cry. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Don't you? Oh, baby, oh, baby, oh. Baby, don't you? Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Then I would cry. Oh, baby, oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Hell yeah, it is. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Truth with B. Tatum. I think I hit the camera on the way in here or something. It's all kind of crooked. But we're going to get it right here in a second. But listen, I want to talk to you about, and I got a little OCD going on here because the table look weird. That's better. All right, so I want to talk to you guys about a few things, right? I want to talk to you about a little conversation we had in the office earlier. And it's related to President Trump. And you know, I talked to a young man on my live feed earlier about this as well. But I just gotta, you know, it's my show, so I can just get this off my chest. All right. So when it comes down to moral character, when it comes down to a person's personal life and what they do in their personal life, I'm of the impression that I'm not too concerned when it comes to me evaluating people, right? I don't put a lot of weight on a person's past, and I don't put a lot of weight on things that I cannot verify. So for instance, people sometimes, or at least the liberal media, not even liberal media, leftist media, the people who are just far out there, they continuously target President Trump, and their basis is to try to attack his character and bring up scenarios and say that, oh, he had sex with this woman 10, 15 years ago, access Hollywood 6, 7 years ago, how many ever years there was. And they want to attack his character based on those premises. And then they want to then tell you that you should not vote for him, or you should not advocate for him, or you should not even consider him to be an American, pretty much, because of something he did before he was president. Let me explain something and why emotionalism can really destroy you. Not to really destroy you, but probably destroy the way you look at other people, which can come across as being not justified, right? So some people say, well, I can't vote for President Trump because of what he did in his past. And he may not be repentant, may or may not be repentant, but I don't like what he did in his past, so I can't vote for him. I don't support him because his character is big. I don't disagree with people who say that, but you have to be careful to a certain degree, because then you find yourself playing God a little bit, because at the end of the day, you really don't know what a person is really doing in their personal life. And you don't know what kind of relationship that person has with God unless you meet them. If you meet them, talk to them, then you can make an assessment. If you haven't met them, I have never met Donald Trump. I cannot say if he's a Christian or he's not a Christian, or he has repented from his sins of what he did before he was president. I have no information on that. One thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to put so much weight on it, and then you find yourself in a hypocritical position, because at the end of the day, you don't know what anybody's doing. Somebody may go into the presidential campaign and that person may look squeaky clean. Maybe Bill Clinton looks squeaky clean. And so you say, well, he's squeaky clean. I like this guy. You know, he's good. He got good moral character, and I'm going to vote for him. His policies are good. He have good moral character. I'm going to vote for him. Then you find out that he probably don't have good moral character, because now he got caught having sexual relations and lying about it in the White House. So to a certain degree, you really have to leave some of that stuff between a person's personal relationship, and then you have to divide that into policy. I think President Trump, the reason why I don't agree with if he cheat on his wife and all this other stuff, I don't think that's a good thing. That's not okay. But at the end of the day, I'm not voting for you because of your personal life. I'm voting for you because are you going to implement the policies that's going to make this country better? Your personal life means something to me, but it's very minimal, because at the end of the day, you don't really know who these people are personally. Now, if I knew every president personally, then I could say, yeah, I know this is a good person because I met him personally. Forget their policies. I know they're a good person, but I don't know them. These people can be rapists. I mean, for instance, you have, priests, and I use priests a lot because priests are held to high standards. I mean, they are the cream of the crop in the religious world of Catholicism. But you have a priest whom you trust, whom you confess your sins to, whom you regard as being upstanding in the realm of religion and the realm of spirituality. And then you put your trust and faith in this man thinking that he's a good person, and you find out he's been raping little kids all this time. So when you went into the situation, and I know religion is just a little different, but when you went into it, you thought you were doing the right thing, but you weren't. You pretty much promoted a bad person. So what I'm saying with Donald Trump, and my argument to all these people who want to talk about his character, is that at the end of the day, his character only means so much. You can be the best character person on planet Earth and you can ruin the country. Obama. We don't know if Obama cheated on his wife. We never caught him. That don't mean he hasn't done it, but that means that we just haven't caught him and we don't have any evidence of it. But at the end of the day, would somebody vote for him because he got good character, but he have terrible policies? That's why the office of the president is very, very, you have to balance it right. You can't just say, I won't vote for you because your character, or I won't vote for you. And I think that you should be worried more about policy than character. That's all I have to say. And I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but we came up with an argument. Some people disagree with me about it, and they wanted to say that, that's the deal breaker. Like Trump has shown a pattern of something, and I guess they can't forgive him because he haven't openly apologized to them personally. When my whole argument is that, man, if the man apologized to his wife about his infidelity and he apologized to God, that's the only thing that matters. I'm not even involved in that. I will make a decision to say, I forgive you. You don't need to ask me for forgiveness. I can choose whether or not I forgive you. And I made the decision to forgive Donald Trump of his past sins. Not that it really matters, because God is the one that it matters to, but because I voted for him, I said I'm going to go forgive Donald Trump his past sins, and I am going to start him fresh at the day he becomes president or the day he runs as a candidate to say, I'm going to forgive you and look at your character from here to re-election to the end of your presidency. I'm not going to be holding stuff against you forever. I might as well voted for, I don't know, somebody that had no path to the presidency. And what good was that vote? So I could feel good morally? It did nothing. It is not going to help the country or me. I just voted for a guy because I felt more. And then you come to find out the guy you voted for is actually a pedophile. Then what do? You stuck. You didn't vote for the wrong person thinking he a good person. So I think you run into a mess when you start indulging yourself into people's character and you really don't even know them personally. So anyway, let's move on. I appreciate you guys coming on. Like I said, you guys, record-breaking a record-breaking show yesterday with over 700 shares, over 100,000 views. You guys were killing it.
Do we have over 1,000 today though?
Oh no, not yet, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. We trying to get over 1,000. We need 1,000 people to watch this. If you can make it happen, y'all. Just share these, share the live feed, share the live feed, share the live feed, share the live feed.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to keep giving you guys an opportunity to know about this, because almost every time I've done a video, although I've posted this in the video, a lot of people kind of miss it and they don't know. But just so you know, Trump's greatest quote, we have a t-shirt with that quote on it, because I know a lot of patriots want to, walk around and be proud of that statement. And I feel like that is a new, a new slogan for America. Not necessarily in its totality, but I think it's a good starting point for us to recognize that we really need to look at Americans and really love on Americans, and we really need to put America first. And the shirt obviously said that Americans are dreamers too. Big, huge quote from President Trump. Man, click on the red one, because I like looking at it in red. My favorite color is red. If you're interested in the shirt, obviously you purchasing the shirt will help us out, but then you can walk around with probably the coolest shirt in America at this point. But you can get it in black, blue, red. We have them in the female cut. We also have long sleeves in the black, blue, red. So go ahead and log on after this show, or whenever you feel like it, you can go on. We put it in the comment section or the description section above, and we also put it in the comment section. So if somehow you forget or you want to do it during the video, go ahead and jump on there and do that. But in the meantime, let's talk about a few other things, right? Candace Owens is I consider her a friend. I don't say I know her deeply, but I text her every now and again, and I met her in person. I met some of her family members. She's a cool person, man. And we already have plans to work together on a particular thing in May that it's going to be me and her at a university, and it's going to be another person, but me and her obviously have been confirmed in to doing it. I'll let you guys know the details later. We're so far off that, but saying that to say, she has been outspoken as it relates to the Congressional Black Caucus and their disrespect for achievements of the black community. And I'm not going to go into detail about all the black stuff, but what I'm going to say is that this is just an example, and I hope that other minority people can see this. This is an example of why the people that are elected to support you as personal individuals, black people, they're supposed to support you. They really don't care about you. They really care about themselves. They care about their own emotions, because they don't like Donald Trump. They don't want you to know that unemployment is down. And unemployment being down is not just a statistical number. It really means a lot for you, your community, and your family, no matter who you are, because unemployment across the board is down. But if you ever at any point thought, well, you know what, Trump don't care about African-American people. Trump, obviously, that is not true, because this is probably one of the greatest times in this country for you to be alive. Because you don't, not only do you have jobs coming back, you also have, if you were smart, you invested your money. Now your money is flipping and making more money. And not only are you doing that, you're getting money back on your taxes. Now, this is another element that I'm surprised they're not bringing this up, right? Everybody knows that there's an epidemic in the African-American community when it comes to single-parent homes, right? Everybody talk about it. It's an epidemic. Of course, the people on the left don't want to talk about it. They want you to stay like that so they can give you food stamps. But everybody talks about that. Now, a lot of people like to play identity politics and point out specific things in order to damage the character of another person. So, for instance, people would love to say, oh, President Trump made mention of poor conditions in African countries, so he's racist. That's a direct correlation to racism. Okay, but one thing I don't see them talking about is that for people with children that file taxes this year are going to see a substantial amount of money back on their taxes because of the credit that they're going to get for their children. Now, a direct correlation to this is that in the African-American community, there's an epidemic of single-parent homes. So you have moms or dads, mostly moms, that have a lot of children or have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 children that they're raising on their own. So this year, when you go and file your taxes, you're going to have a lot more money to take care of those children. That is an epidemic in a certain community that President Trump addressed when he wrote out his tax plan. How in the world are we not using that as evidence that Donald Trump is pursuing the success of all people? And some people may even argue he did that specifically for single parents. Specifically for single parents. That's going to benefit single parents more than it's going to benefit dual parents. If you got two people in the house, two household incomes, and you make that much money back, that's good. It's great. But if you by yourself and you get that money, you need that money. You don't have another parent that's helping you, so you need that money. And just for the sake of argument, let me just throw this out here because it's kind of personal to me. There's a difference between a single parent home and a parent that's single as far as relationship status. The single parents that I'm talking about are parents that are doing it by themselves completely. No daddy, no nothing, nobody helping them. They're doing it by themselves. That's what I consider a single parent. A parent that has joint custody with the other parent and they live in both places and the other person is paying child support, you're not a single parent. You're just a parent that's single because the other parent is literally doing their part. They just don't live in your house. That's a huge difference. So anyway, I'm gonna get off that subject because people like to run with that. But I just really do think, and I honestly think that we need to start being more balanced in our perspective, in our arguments, and our disagreements. We have to be more balanced. Do not be afraid of having people that don't believe like you, having a conversation with them, because it's gonna allow two things to happen for you. All right. You have a conversation with somebody that don't agree with you, it's going to verify that you're right, or it's going to verify that you're wrong about something. And that is invaluable when you're actually a critical thinker, because people may have said things to me and I think all the time. My brain never stops. I'm always thinking, I'm always processing stuff. But there's people that have said things to me that I've never thought of before. And I'm saying people that agree with me. Then you have people that disagree with you that may come up with a good point, and then you are forced to now reevaluate your thought process. A person that can be mobile or can be dynamic in doing those type of things are the people that typically grow intellectually. So that's one thing that I wanted to just address before we go any further. Do we have that story about there's a football player, and before we post a story, I just want to say a little bit about it. I didn't get to read the full story, but I had our one of our guys from the Wild Card, which is our sports channel. The Wild Card actually briefed me on it. He told me about it. I was like, man, send me that. I need to talk about that on the show. Well, there's a football player. He's going to be in the Super Bowl. I think he plays for the Patriots, if I'm not misunderstanding.
Right.
He plays for the Patriots. But the reason I want to highlight this gentleman, because sometimes when we go through political, emotional type stuff, we kind of lump people, right? So I was a big proponent of talking trash about the NFL because these players taking a knee for the national anthem. But what we do, in fact, is we overlook some of the guys in the NFL who are actually doing the right thing. Some of the guys in the NFL who are actually committed to giving back to their communities, and they're not just running their mouth, giving lip service. It's literally they are committed to helping out whatever cause that they have been projecting the entire year. So this young man, literally, he goes in his off time and he works for a company. I think he makes like $11 an hour. He works for a company that allows him, and this is humbling. And I'm gonna tell you why it's humbling in a minute. Let me finish his story. Allows him to go and help out with handicapped people. I think he drives the transportation vehicle for people who cannot walk. They may need wheelchairs, they may need crutches or whatever. And so he goes out and he commits his time in the off season to driving these people around. And I'm pretty sure he makes tons and tons of money. And he probably makes way more money than they do, because if they made kind of money he was making, people would be driving him around. They wouldn't have to have probably a standard service. He only get paid $11 an hour. But he's utilizing his time, effort, and energy to give back to people. So I just want to highlight him. I forget his name. What is his name? You got to echo?
Yeah, it's right here, Bernard Reedy Jr.
Oh, Bernard Reedy. Yeah, that's right, Bernard Reedy Jr. So if you guys see Bernard Reedy Jr. and you follow him on Instagram or something, man, shoot him a message and say that he's doing a good job. I may go on and find him somewhere and follow him. Now, he say something about Black Lives Matter, I may reconsider. But at this point, I'm a fan of his, not necessarily of his, I'm a fan of what he is doing. And I'm going to tell you a humbling experience that I learned when I was younger, and my dad exposed me to this. We used to do Meals on Wheels. And I don't know if y'all know what Meals on Wheels is, and it's pretty much if some of you guys who don't know, they make hot dinners for elderly people. It's mostly elderly people who probably can't get out. They may not be able to cook for themselves. So they have these meals that are hot. They're hot and ready to go. And they deliver them to individuals' houses. And I think we did it once a week, and we delivered meals. And one thing I learned, and my dad, it really humbled me, because we didn't live in these neighborhoods. We stayed further down the street in a nice house. We didn't have to go and help these people. And some of them were stinky. Some of them were nasty. Some of them were just super poor. And it was a little uncomfortable, but it helped us break that pattern of feeling like you're better than somebody else. So we got in that. My dad used to have a truck, a little bitty pickup truck. He'd throw the meals in the back. I think maybe he had them in the cabin part or in the back. We'll ride in the back. He'll pull up to the address. We'll take the meals. We'll get out. We'll knock on the door and say, Meals on Wheels. And we'll say, so-and-so, we'll give it to him. And when I had an opportunity to talk to a lot of interesting people. Now, I was a young kid, so I really don't remember them a lot. But emotionally, I remember what I felt like when I saw those people. When how excited they were when they got meals. Because and I'm not gonna lie, some of them were ungrateful, some of them were complaining about the meals because it wasn't what they wanted or whatever. But most of them were very, very excited and really thankful, not only that they were getting the meals, but they were thankful that we were delivering them and we were taking time out of our day to service them. So that was really special to me, and I really appreciate a player who has a lot of money and he can walk around like his stuff don't stink and live up in the foothills somewhere and never really give back to any community. Because I don't know what community he's doing Meals on Wheels for. I don't know if it's a black community or whatever. It really doesn't matter. He's giving back to people in whom it's going to change their lives forever. And so I guess to go along with saying that, if you have any opportunity to do something like that, I think you should give it a try, even if it's intimidating. Giving back to people feels so good. That is like a gratification that nothing in your life can actually give you outside of, giving back to other people and feeling that's your worth in life. Let me tell y'all this. Let me give you a nugget. Your worth in life is based on what you do for other people. Your worth in life is not just what you do for yourself, how much money you have, how much fame you have. But at the end of the day, when you die, people are going to evaluate your life based on what did you do for other people. What difference did you make in this world? Not how much money you have, man. That money gonna be gone. And whoever your spouse was, if they outlive you, they're gonna take that money and be running with it and never looking back. Somebody else gonna waste all that money you worked hard for. So your money ain't going nowhere. That house is gonna get foreclosed or whatever's gonna happen if you don't do nothing right by it. It's not gonna go to your kids. It's gonna go back to the bank if it's not paid off. Or if it's paid off, they'll auction your house off if nobody claim it. So nobody's going to care about that when you die, unfortunately. Even though you might want them to, they don't care. Martin Luther King, how much money did Martin Luther King make? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. But what people do care about, what they do want, or what they do, or they are concerned about, is that what impact did he make? And I think Martin Luther King made a huge impact. He made a huge impact in the world. And obviously he made enough impact that we're still talking about him today. And we obviously have monuments, statues. We have a holiday for Martin Luther King. And I think most people would regard him as one of the greatest Americans in history. And so that's what I think people should really be concerned about. And that's who you should admire. That's who you should model yourself after, is people who are doing the right thing, and how many people do they help with what they're doing. I'm not talking about just financial help. I'm talking about face-to-face help. And that's one thing as a police officer I was able to do, and it really made a difference in my life. I remember when I would help somebody else, even though my life wasn't going very well, or I was sad, I felt depressed, helping somebody else really gave me a little life. You know what I mean? Watching them grow, watching them, the light bulb go off in their head about relationships that they were in that they shouldn't have been in, and different things like that. So that's something that I think you guys should strive for. So if you have questions right now, I'm opening up the floor for questions and comments. I know it's kind of early in the stage, but I want to dialogue with you guys and see what you're thinking. Let's see. I appreciate a lot of you guys coming on. It wasn't as hot as yesterday. I guess yesterday was real hot, but today it's still good to see all of you guys here watching the show. Let's see.
I had seen someone say something about, now I'm not sure I remember.
Yeah.
Liberals like identity politics these days. Like they were commenting like, oh, liberals like identity politics or something like that. Which I would, or like leftists, like the left is identity politics. And actually that's something I feel like we talked about like today as well, was like liberals, like classical liberals and leftists and whatnot, but mostly the identity politics part, where leftism, like the people on the left, which actually are most Democrats these days, or at least mainstream Democrats, where you see them on the media, is not just that identity politics are popular, but it's honestly that's their politics these days. Like the identity is what people have this idea that whatever you identify as, that group is who you are, period. So almost never do I ever see people saying, oh, this person, and like nobody really focuses on the individual's accomplishments or what they've done wrong. They worry about, oh, all the time, you're white, so therefore you have this privilege, or there's something wrong with you. You are racist. And if you're black, you are inherently this like, because you are so discriminated against, you are held to this like high platform, like this is you deserve this because of the past of how black people were treated, as opposed to being held to the standard of what you've done. Now we do see in the media these new people, like these people who are sexual assaulters especially, who are held to a standard. But then what do we turn around and say? Oh, someone like Al Franken and someone like Harvey Weinstein, what are they all? White guys, right? Oh, so white men are the issue. So now it turns to this issue of, it could have been, hey, these people exist and these people should be worried about. But now it's white men need to learn how to treat women. It's like, no. That's not the issue. The people that treat women wrong need to learn how to treat women.
Yeah.
And women need to know what those situations look like and what they need to do when they're put into those situations. The fact is, those people aren't going away. There's going to be messed up, disgusting people who want to do disgusting things to people because of whatever reason.
Right, and I think that you made a great point, and that's why I think that we can't really succeed moving forward until we quit playing identity politics. You know, if you don't address the issue at the root, you're not going to get better. Like for instance, this is an example that I have, right? When I go out in my yard and I go to pull these weeds up, there's two ways you can do it. You can pull the weed out the ground, or you can spray the weed killer on it, right? The problem with some people do is, what the instructions on the weed killer is that they tell you to spray the root. If you spray just the top, it's just going to kill the top. You need to spray down into the root. And so it kills it from the root up. So when you spray it over the top, some of them you can apply with water. You'll just put a little water there. You spray it in the bottom portion. That water will then seep down into the root. It'll kill it at the root, and then the whole plant will die. The whole thing will die. So that's pretty much how you're supposed to address issues. You address them at an individual level at the core. Just like Echo said, if you have men who are acting stupid, spraying the top will be like, oh, they're white men are acting stupid. No, these type of men, this type of behavior exists in all men of all races and culture and societies. No matter where you go in the world, you have men who just take advantage of women. It's not just an American thing. It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not a young thing. It's not an old thing. You got people who just are inherently in a position to take advantage of women, and women do the same thing to men. But we see a lot more examples of men doing it to women in the media. Or I have never been on a call where a woman raped a man. I've never been on a call like that. I don't think I've even seen it. Does it happen? Yes, it happens. Trust me, it does. But you know, you got to go to the root of the problem. and not be so generic about it. You got to say, okay, these are the characteristics that we need to get rid of. And every man I see with these characteristics, we need to check that. Because what happens is if you say, oh, we've only seen, for instance, I'll jump to this, like school shootings and mass shootings. See, people say, well, only white people do mass shootings. Black people don't do mass shootings. This is what black people say in the black community, and this is what social justice warriors try to say on the white side, is that, oh, it's a white thing. No, it's not. It's a mental illness thing, because you see mass shootings from certain people because that's just the methodology of how they express their hatred, evilness, or even mental illness. Now you go to another demographic and they may be killing each other in the streets. That's how they express their hatred, evilness, or mental illness. So just because one side or you see a few people doing it this way, don't mean it's exclusive, because both sides have done it. Everybody heard about the DC sniper. The DC sniper killed a whole bunch of people. He probably killed more people. They just couldn't even find, they couldn't prove that he killed a lot of people that ended up mysteriously dead from rifle shots. Now he was shooting people from the trunk, killed almost how many people, and it was a black man. Look at the guy in Dallas that got a rifle and started picking off police officers, which is probably one of the most heinous murders or attempted murders against police officers in our history, by a black man. So it's not necessarily the race, which identity politics tells you that you need to just focus on, oh, white people do Columbines. But no, it's the fact that people who are mentally ill do this stuff. And so we need to catch these people where they are and get them the help they need, or then put them in jail if that's more necessary, instead of playing identity politics, because then you miss the whole point of it, because now you're focusing on white people and then you're forgetting all the black people that are suffering from mental illness that are acting out this stuff on a day-to-day basis. It goes overlooked. And so I think that that's absolutely true. I mean, we should be looking at it in any person that have shown character of manipulating others. We should be addressing those things. So let me see if you guys have answer some questions. Some people say they love the shirt. Awesome. Thank you guys. Let's see. Is white privilege real? This is what I'm gonna say. White privilege is real, right? It's no different than any other privilege, though. That's the part that I think everybody's missing. Do some white people see advantages for being white in certain situations? Yes. If you saying no, you tripping. Do all white people experience white privilege? Heck no. I've seen a lot of them that don't. Probably most white people don't have white privilege for sure. If anything, nowadays it's opposite of white privilege. You get shunned because you white. You do anything, you are responsible for slavery and everything. They throwing you all under the bus. But it's no different privilege than black privilege. There's certain things that I can do because I'm black that white people can't do. Everybody knows. You get on here and say half of the stuff I say, they call you a racist. So to a certain degree, my freedom of expression, being a black man, has a privilege to it. And just like if you super attractive, I mean, if you attractive, you just, it's a privilege. Is this people going to buy stuff from you more? They can use you. People can use you to do a lot of things if you're attractive. You can be reading off think about it. If you're really attractive and you read off a teleprompter, you're a superstar. You may not even know how to look up and research documents for yourself. They give you a piece of paper and you look really good, you can read that. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. You look good, you can read a teleprompter, you the man, you the woman. That's a privilege. If you have money, money supersedes race. I don't care who you are, what you say, that green is the only color that supersedes every other color. If you are rich, you can do whatever you want to do. White people will, if I was a billionaire and I went to a restaurant, I could get whatever I want. I'm telling you, I can get whatever I want. I can walk in there and say, look, I want to buy this whole section off. I'm going to tell you somebody, Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry came to Tucson. I ended up seeing, it was actually on my birthday, my 21st birthday, actually. My 21st birthday, I was at Red Lobster getting ready to have my first drink. And they ain't even carded me. I waited all this time to get carded. They ain't even card me. I was like, nah, lady, come back here. Take this card. I'm 21. All right, dang, I waited all this time. Now you gonna pass up on me. But anyway, I saw when Tyler Perry was leaving, they had blocked out the whole restaurant. And nobody really knew. It just looked like people weren't sitting back there. But then Tyler Perry started walking up because my girlfriend at the time was sitting there. She was facing me and she was facing the door and I was facing to where Tyler Perry was walking from. So he was walking up and I'm telling her like, that dude looked just like Tyler Perry. And there's no reason for Tyler Perry to be in Tucson. You know, this guy's a multi-millionaire superstar. And he's walking through Red Lobster and I'm like, that looked like Tyler Perry. I said, look at that dude. Turn around. Look at him. You need to turn around and like look at him. Don't be shy. You need to see. You need to verify this. She go, that is Tyler Perry. So our waiter was talking to us and she was just doing her little thing. And then eventually, once he walked out, he had a few people with him. Once he walked out, she go, oh my God, I can finally tell you that there was Tyler Perry. And he had rented that whole section in the back. Now, I just see this hand? This hand make me want to, you know, somebody say I'm stupid, you want to slap me in the back of the head. Every time I see one of these social justice warriors, especially some African Americans that try to act like we still live in the 60s or we live in the 40s, I want to slap them in the back of the head. What are you thinking? When racism was rampant, you think a black man can go rent out the back of an entire restaurant? My grandmother told me back when she was little that she couldn't even go in the restaurant. She had to go around the back. They wouldn't even serve her there. They had to serve her out the back. And you trying to tell us that somehow we going through the same struggle? You got to be stupid. Tyler Perry rented out the half of the restaurant. He the man. They wouldn't even tell nobody he's back there. Let LeBron James go to the restaurant you in. People be falling at his feet, worshiping him. I tell you, I think people would actually worship LeBron James. Like you go to some places, they will actually get on their knees and start worshiping LeBron James. White people, Lil Wayne, these rappers. I don't know, man. If racism existed, there would be no rappers because white people buy rap music. You look at the numbers. White people buy rap music more than black people do. You know, these rappers' biggest clientele are actually white people. So what a racist world we live in. You could go triple platinum because you got 1 million white people buying your stuff. Oh, but it's racist. Look at that racism. That racism is making you rich. I'm gonna tell you this. A guy argued with me just a minute ago. Let me tell you how silly these people are. He go, man, you a sellout because I made that video about the State of Union address after the State of Union. Obviously, it said 1.5 million views. So people like it. I don't know. Maybe they dislike it. Maybe a lot of them don't like it. I don't know. But I thought it was a good video, obviously. I didn't know it was that good when I was making it, but after a while, I realized that this is a viral video. But he said, oh, you're a sellout or whatever the case may be. And then he go, did you ever sit down with your They always want to go back they always want to go way back to try to find something. Have you ever sat down with your grandma and grandpa and talked to them about racism? I can't believe you said that racism don't exist. Not one time did I even mention racism in that video, by the way. I didn't say nothing about racism, but that's what his brain told him about the speech. So have you ever said that? I'm like, yeah, I sat down. First of all, I didn't even respond to that because I'm like, this is just stupid. I don't have to. What do you mean that I sat down and talked to my grandparents? Fool. Who do you think I was around when I was younger? Okay, all right. Besides that, I just sent him a simple response. I said, what has racism prevented you from doing in 2018? He said, see, you and Omarosa are the same. I like, what does Omarosa got to do with this thing? You told me that there's racism and I'm a sellout for saying that there's no racism. You can't even tell me. And so what I told him, I said, you can't even articulate any acts of racism against you. And what he told me was, let me tell you how stupid this person was. I'm going to call him stupid. I'm sorry. That's not a great word to use, but I just want to use it on him. Listen, he told me, this was his response. Don't you try to use big words. What big word did I use in that sentence? Articulate? That's not a big word, homie. That's grade school stuff. I mean, that's even young. My kid know what articulate. He's a 7-year-old know what articulation means. But anyway, he go, don't try to use big words against me. you don't know nothing about you using big words to think you smarter than me. I got 2 degrees and an MBA, and I own my own business, and I own my own club. I say, well, you just proved my point. Racism is so bad. You got 2 degrees of MBA, you own your own business. I mean, that sounds like black people are doing great. Where's the racism? And we talked about this earlier. Our COO, I was talking to him, and we were in a group, we were talking, and he said the problem nowadays is that people don't even define racism properly at all. I mean, I think if I was to say, if Kobe was to say, dang, man, you got a big nose. Oh, that's racism. The man can't even talk about me and us be 2 different races because that's racist. And then they have to say, then they would have to say that that thing. I thought the whole thing fell out. Then they would have to say that because I'm black, they'll say, oh, because he said my nose was fat because that's inherently racist. It's like, no, I got a bigger nose than he do. My nose shape is different. But if you said that, people would say that I'm racist. That's not racism, ladies and gentlemen. Racism is when you intentionally deprive somebody of something, or you attack them, or you make sure that, I mean, deprivation is what I'm saying. You deprive somebody of something because of their race. If you try to alienate them or do something specifically because of their race, then that's a problem. If you make a comment and a person happened to be a different race than you, that's not racism. If a black person, if 10, 15 black people jumped you, and you have a problem with those people and say those people were violent, or you go to a community where it's all black and it's a bunch of violent people there, and you say, man, that community is violent. Now that's racism. No, it's not. That's true. You know, like if somebody was to point out, like, hey, Brandon, you the only black person in Anthem. It's probably 12 of us out here. That's not racism for somebody to bring that up. Like, who cares, man? It's not a big deal. And the thing is and now you gotta, they make a term racism, and then they exclude everybody but white people. So you tell me black people can't be racist? So you telling me I could have so much that it's impossible for me to have so much disdain for white people that when I build a business, I don't hire any white people. Now you tell me how that's not racist. And they say, well, because you don't have the power to, I guess, usurp your authority over other people in totality. That's not true, because if I own a business, I am in a small increment. I'm enforcing and utilizing my power over another person. I'm utilizing my power over another person. That's the same thing you're saying that white people are doing on a bigger scale. You can still do that on a smaller scale, because in that person's life, they are deprived of a job because of the color of their skin. Why don't people have common sense? I just don't understand. The man, and then he told me, like, I'm selling out my own people or something. I would never sell myself for politics. Like, bro, I'm not into politics. I just have an opinion about politics. That's it. I had an embarrassing moment the other day about the Senate, the House, and the Congress. I misspoke on a video, and then I ain't gonna even lie, I was misunderstanding how some of this stuff worked together, and one of my friends called me out on it. I'm not a politician. I don't know a lot about this stuff. I'm new to this. I'm just giving my opinion based on common sense. I don't know. Somebody that don't even live in this country can come over here and give these same opinions like, oh, that makes sense. That would make sense that you would be excited that you don't have to pay the government more money. I mean, that just sounds right. Oh, like there's a stat called unemployment, and like it's the lowest it has been in decades. That sounds like a good thing, right? You know what I'm saying? Companies are now coming back to America with billions and billions of dollars of investments. That don't sound like a bad thing. Illegal border crossings are down like 60% with no money, no investment in that, no money invested in that. That sounds like a good thing. You bring any logical, impartial person to this country and they're going to be like, oh, the stock market has broke records 84 times in 1 year. People's 401ks are going up $50,000. Somebody told me that their mom, one of my friends said their mom got $50,000 in the stocks because stocks are booming. Oh, a reasonable person would be like, oh, that sounds like a good thing. I don't live in your country, but that sounds like that would be good. I mean, it's not like people would be happy about that. No. Like I could tell a person right now that came from planet Mars. I could say there was such thing as racism in our country, and black people were slaves. Look at black people now, and I bet that person would be like, they were slaves? Wow, I would have never known, because they seem to be equal as everybody else. Matter of fact, they seem to be overrepresented in sports. They only make up a certain amount of population, but not almost every professional athlete in major sports are African American. Everybody in entertainment, as far as music entertainment, some of the biggest entertainers are black. You would think with a lot of these black people in the forefront that black people actually make up a lot more of the population than they do, but they actually do not. With that being said, it seems that black people are actually having a good time in society right now. Same thing about women. You see women owning all kind of businesses, women making more money, women are graduating more than men, percentage-wise. Women got it, doing it big. I mean, we would have had a female president if people would actually put quality female people in place. But you can't have a female president when you put Hillary Clinton out there and she a dog. Well, that ain't because the world is sexy. That's because she suck. Y'all probably should have used somebody better than that. They may have won. Anyway, I ain't gonna go on Hillary too much. But people just get hurt. It's not that dude actually believes. I mean, maybe in his heart he believes some of this stuff, but it's the fact that he just don't like the fact that I'm talking about black people. That's it, man. He don't have an argument. In my entire life, I've only had like 2 or 3 situations that were racist, blatantly racist. And probably 2 of them happened when I was playing football in middle school and we went out to Stephenville. I can't remember if it was Stephenville or Brownwood. We went out to this country place where there's no black people in sight. And they probably racist out there. Kids were calling us the N-word. Parents were calling us the N-word. We were all black school. Well, we went to all black school. Majority of us on the team were black. They were calling us the N-word and everything. And that was racist. Let me see what it says. Oh, I see that. But anyway, that was racist. But Cry Me a River, that was how many years ago? And that had what effect on my life? None. But see, we need to start teaching our kids and other people to be strong. Like, if you try to listen, if this is where you fail at. If you say there should be no more bullying in schools, instead of teaching your kid how to handle bullies, you're gonna fail. There's gonna always be kids that bully other kids. It's just human nature. Now, they can mitigate it through policy, but it's not gonna go away. Kids are gonna bully kids outside of school. They gonna bully you when you're a grown man. You teach your kids how to deal with bullies to where it do not affect them in their lives. How hard is the concept? Somebody help me. I would tell somebody, a young African-American, because people just think, I guess African-Americans are the only people that feel like they're racially profiled. So you get a young African-American and somebody racially profile them. Instead of me crying a river and saying, we need to stop racism in the country, I'm going to say, this is how you deal with a dummy, right? When somebody call you the N-word, you laugh at them and you walk away. If somebody deny you service in their store, you leave their store and go to the next store. And then you tell everybody you know that they denied you service because you was black. You don't need to protest. You don't need to do nothing. You just need to go put your business somewhere else. When somebody tells you that they say something about you and they call you the N-word or say it's only because you're black, laugh at them because they're ignorant and they're probably never going to amount to anything in life. Ha, 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 you're stupid. I'm going to go on with my life. Like, how hard is that? Therefore, until we can figure out a way to get into people's minds and stop them from being prejudiced and or racist, you have now solved the problem. If somebody come up to me and say, I hate you, you black N-word, I don't know why they let you black people come to this mall or something. I'm going to say, ha, that's funny. Get out of my face. Now you touch me, I'm going to beat you down. Other than that, I'm walking away and I'm laughing at you because you're nobody. You that dumb. Your brain is not firing at its full potential. I'm not the problem. You the problem. Get on board, young man. For you to say something like that, you got to be extremely stupid. Why am I gonna get mad and get my feelings hurt? I'm gonna go home and be like, I can't believe that crazy man with no brain, no future, that's literally in the Stone Age called me an N-word. I'm so distraught. Stop it already. Just stop. I don't understand why we so cowardice. I would use other words. Before I was saved, there's a lot of words I would like to use, but I'm not gonna use those. But y'all know the words that I may be alluding to. Quit being so much of a coward. Be bold. Be courageous. Martin Luther King wasn't a coward, ladies and gentlemen. Martin Luther King wasn't wasting his time crying about racism. He was actually doing something about it. He actually wanted people to be equal. He wasn't crying. He was doing something about it. He didn't let any of that deter him from his mission. Some of y'all want to make excuses and say because somebody don't like you because you're a woman, because you're a man, because you're black, because you're white, because you're, Jewish, because you're a Christian, that's the reason why you didn't make it. If anybody ever say that to you, they're the problem. If anybody has ever told you that they didn't make it in life because they're black, they're idiots. If they didn't make it in life because they're white, they're idiots. They didn't make it in life because their parents were so and so and so and so, they are idiots. Now, you may have a unreasonable start, but your finish is up to you. You may, I don't know if anybody, if you guys are avid track watchers or whatever, if you watch the Olympic sprinters in the 100-meter dash, everybody starts out with blocks. And the thing is that if you take off on the race, see, the thing is, in life, it's not about winning as much as it is finishing. And when you see an Olympic sprinter and they take off and they hit the thing and the block slide, they may not win the race, but it's nothing that's going to stop them from running their full potential and winning. And finishing. Nothing is going to stop them from finishing. It doesn't matter if you slip. Some people, just by nature, they don't have a good start, but they have a better finish. But the problem is that will you finish? Yes, you will finish. You don't need to get first to finish. You don't need to get first to run your fastest. That's the problem. Like, you can reach your full sprint potential even if you slip out the blocks or even if you don't get the start that you like. You can still finish the race and run your fastest. And that's the same thing about life. Just because your mama was a crackhead don't mean at some point in your life you can't figure this thing out and finish the race. Even if you finish from prison, you can still finish the race and leave as a full functioning adult. Because I'm not going to sit here and act like if you live in the hood, you can't get caught up in stuff. I got caught up in stuff and my parents didn't raise me like that. And I got caught up in a few things. I got caught up in gang activity. I got caught up in smoking marijuana when I was really, really young. My mom and them would have beat me if they found out if I did that. But I got caught up in it because I was around other people who were bad influences, right? Some of them are now actively in jail right now. I'm not. My parents didn't raise me that way. But you can mess around and get caught up. I'm going to give you an example. We used to hang out with our cousins, and they used to steal from the corner store. We used to go. We didn't know no better. Man, my daddy would have killed us. He found out we did that. I'm grown now. I can't get a spanking, so I can tell y'all. So we go into the store, man. My cousin and them were poor, pretty much. They were poor from an illiterate, they were illiterate. Their family didn't graduate high school. They were poor, so what they would do if they wanted some chips, mama can't give you no money for no chips. So if you want some chips, you just go down to the store, have your jacket on. We'll put the chips in the jacket, and they crunching and popping. And I know the guy knew we were stealing, but we were little kids. We go in there, we steal the candy. We steal the chips and we leave. As an adult, I'm like, boy, that was so stupid. But we could have ended up getting caught up in something. I guarantee you at that time in my life, if somebody would have said, run, the police would come, they say, run. You run from the police. Now, if I'd have got all caught up in that and got shot and hurt, that is how you get caught up when you in a bad environment with bad advice and no leadership. That's how you get caught up. So I'm not saying that young people don't get in this lifestyle and they get caught up. But what I'm saying is that at some point in your life, you can fix it. My friend specifically, man, I need to follow up and talk to him. 19 years in prison. All right. He went into prison before he was an adult. Why? Because his role model If y'all listen, before I say this, I want you to share this. If you got young people that need to hear this, if you got your kids that need to hear this, share this on their page. Because this is something that I feel like everybody need to hear. He had mentioned to me that his role model was his brother. He didn't know no other role models. He didn't have a daddy. He didn't have nobody to look up to. Who did he see was bringing money in the house? His big brother. Who cared about him? His big brother. Who would die for him if it came down to his big brother? So his big brother was helping feeding the family, bringing in money, showing love. Who do you think he's going to model himself after? He don't know no better. The president of the United States ain't in his house doing nothing. His big brother was his role model. And then his big brother was selling dope and doing stuff he shouldn't have been doing. So what do you think he did? He followed his footsteps. Running with the wrong people, got caught up in multiple robberies and all this other stuff, and got sentenced to I don't know how many years as like a 16-year-old. I think he 13 years or something like that. He got out when he was 20 something. He looked me in the eyes and he said, that jail, sending kids to prison when they're young is not a good thing. He said, man, you went to the prom. I didn't know what a prom was. He said, your first time driving a car. I don't know what that was. I never drove a car until I got out of prison. I never had a prom. You talking about girlfriend? I never had a girlfriend. I never could develop normal relationships with people because I wasn't in a normal environment. I didn't know how to have compassion. I had to learn how to be hard. I had to learn how to not to die and get killed in here. I was in here with grown men. I didn't know how to be a kid. I don't know what it's like to be in high school and graduate from high school and develop them relationships as a young man. All I knew is grown up stuff and how to be hard. So when I get out, I don't know. People think I'm mean, I'm evil. I just don't know how to interact with you. I only know how to keep my guard up because that's how I survived from being a teenager to a grown man. And I just feel compassionate to share his story because it was powerful. I have tears in my eyes every time he tells his story. And that man take responsibility for his actions because he got out and kept messing up. And he did a whole bunch of other years. He did 19 years total in prison and haven't made an excuse, not one time about race. He never about the white man. He said I was the problem. It wasn't the police, it was me. He admitted to all of his and now he's out of prison and he's doing more than people who graduated college. He got his own landscaping business. I hired him to do my yard. I say, man, I want to put money in your pocket. Why am I going to hire somebody else? And did a great job. I wish I had his business right here. I'll give him a little advertisement. Did a great job. Straight out of prison. Oh, but this world is so racist. You know who gave him that? You know who gave him the opportunity to have that his own landscaping company? I ain't gonna even say. You can guess on your own. I can tell you what, it wasn't a black person. But we live in such a racist world. 19 years in prison, you get out of prison. Who helped you? Oh, your people don't want nothing to do with you, huh? You don't want to live that lifestyle no more. They don't want to touch you, huh? They don't want nothing to do with you. But see, when you display good character and remorse and you want to do something, people will help you. I don't care what color they are, they will help you. That's the secret to America that they don't want you to know. They want you to think that the white man hates you and that the black man hates you. No, when you have good character, like Martin Luther King said, people will come and help you. When Harriet Tubman was trying to free the slaves, people came to her assistance and dedicated their lives to it. White people did that at a time where they would get killed if they found out that they was housing black slaves. All she did was come forward with a mission and a goal and passion, and somebody helped her. And then that person told other people to help her. And other people joined her, and it became a movement to free slaves. All you got to do is pursue. All you got to do is make your mind up that you want to be somebody and people will help you. If you sit on your butt and you do nothing, nobody want nothing to do with you. Don't blame the white man because you lazy. When you start acting, people are going to start promoting you. I'm just keeping it 100. But they don't want you to know that. They want you to stay lost. They want you to believe in hate and division so they can stay in power. They don't care about your psyche. I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, you can take it or leave it. I'm sorry I missed y'all questions. I said I was going to answer some questions, but we're going to get out of here soon. Let me see if I can catch somebody. People help you. People have helped me. Racism have no power over my life. If anything, white people have done more for me than black people have. What a racist world we live in. Oh, man, it's funny because they be hating when I say that, but I'm telling the truth. Ask my boy that did 19 years in prison. Ask him. He'll tell you the truth. Get out of prison. Who gave him a hand up? Not a handout. I gave him a hand up. Somebody that didn't look like him. But anyway. Who over here making sure my videos happen? See, Echo's helping me out. If he was racist, he'd be turning it off and he wouldn't want to work with me.
Nah, it wouldn't matter. They pay me, so.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, his race is green, boy. Anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here. I appreciate you guys, man. I really do. I really appreciate y'all. Again, if you're just now watching, some people are catching it at the end of the show. Listen, one of the greatest quotes that I think will go down in history for any president to ever live is gonna be "Americans are dreamers too." So, if you want to get you a shirt, wear it around, have the coolest shirt in America at this point, at this present time. And then also, when you get a shirt, it's going to support us. So that's a win-win. So if you want to, we got it in the description section or in the comment section. You can go down, grab your shirt, get one for your mom and them, get one for a liberal if you want to, if you feel bold. I can't wait for mine to come in, man. We trying to get mine bad. My favorite color is red. So if you get one, get a red one. I don't know. They ain't gonna run out of reds. But anyway, hey, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to say a quick prayer, and then we're going to get out of here. It's about that time. So sorry if I missed your questions. What time do you start every day? I got to answer that. We start at 4:30 every day. Saturdays, we do it at 11. We do it at 11 on
And this is
Saturdays.
Mountain time. Don't forget.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. 4:30 Mountain Standard Time every day except Sunday. And on Saturday, we do it at 11. So it's 4:30 Mountain Standard Time, Monday through Friday. And then we do it at 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. Now, I want to preface this. If something happens where I can't come to the office or Echo is out, I will still do the show, but I'll just do it from my house. This is a good opportunity for us to have a good time. We can put stuff on the screen, but I'll still try to do it from my house. If I'm sick, then I just can't do it. But I'll try to notify you guys and do a better job at doing that. But every day, 4:30 Mountain Standard Time, 6:30 if you're on the East Coast, 3:30 if you're on the West Coast. And my directions could be off. I'm just pointing direct. I'm just going one arm to one arm. So don't try to follow me on my directions because this is probably north. But anyway, hey, thank you, Windy City Gaming for the super chat. Appreciate it. Oh, and again, I want to thank all you guys for donating. We had some pretty significant donations yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday was good.
The last couple of days. I mean, we had some pretty good donations. So thank you guys for donating to the show. You're making it happen. Our goal is obviously to get a better set. We are in a room right now. We're in some back room. It's hot in here, but we making it work because we love y'all and y'all love us back. So our goal is that once we get enough money raised, we're going to then move to our studio. It's mostly outfitted, but we're going to get a set. I want a set, y'all. I want a set. Okay. I want to sit at the set and have Echo in the background doing this thing. It'll be pretty fun. So appreciate you guys for donating already, the things that you've done. I'm going to say this, then we're going to wrap it up. Echo is telling me it's time to go.
Oh, no, you're good. That's not what I was doing. You're good.
So what I want to say is that if you cannot donate financially, whatever, it's fine. I'm going to say this every time. Whether you donate financially, whether you share the video, whether you like the video, whether you tell a friend, whether you just watching the video, it all means the same thing. You are supporting. I love you. I appreciate it. And I'm telling you, that's one of the reasons why, or a contributing factor to why I pray on the show, because I want God to know I honor him in this show. I honor him and understand that he is, you know, the reason why this show is going forward. So God, I believe God is going to take care of us. When you donate or when you watch, when you share, you are a part of the blessing. That's how I look at it. You are a part of the blessing. It's not like that if you don't give, somehow you didn't contribute. All of it is an equal contribution to me and in my heart. And then also God can see your contribution and see that you want to push forward a message too. And I think God will bless you for that. So let me say a prayer and then we're going to get out of here. If you're driving in a car or something, keep your eyes open. Don't close your eyes and pray and crash or something. I don't want to feel liable for that. But anyway, if you're ready, join me in prayer. Lord, we want to say thank you for giving us another beautiful day, for waking us up this morning, for giving us the opportunity to gather together on a social media platform to talk and address modern issues that are going on in our society. God, we pray that you help us to be more understanding, to be balanced in our perspective, to forgive others as we forgive ourselves. God, I want to say thank you for all of the people that are watching. We really are grateful to you that you've created a platform that we can spread the truth and that you have blessed us to have such a wonderful following. So many great people are actually on here. God, I pray that one day I'll be able to meet all these people and meet them face to face. But until then, I just want to say thank you for all of the followers. Please, God, bless those that are not feeling good. I personally know people that feel sick today or even this week. God, I pray that you bless them, give them a speedy recovery. Bless them as you see fit. Help them to keep strength even throughout their sickness, that they may recover and be grateful. And, you know, when you're sick, you become more grateful, in my opinion. So I pray that, God, you can help them become more grateful and understand the things that they may not have been appreciating when they were full healthy. And God, I want to say that, or at least pray for the president of the United States. God, I pray that you give him direction, give him guidance, give him a sound mind, forgive him of his transgressions. And I pray that you allow him to move forward and do things in a positive manner, one that will unite people and that will cause people to be less divided in this country. I think he's done a lot, but God, I pray that you just give him greater powers to do more of it and do it in a more perfect way. I pray for all the legislators, all the people who are in government. I pray, God, that you bless them to have a sound mind, to have a balanced perspective, and that so that they can do the job that we pay taxes for them to do. And God, I thank you for all of these things. Thank you for being sovereign. We know that you are in control. We know that you have the power in your hands, and we understand that, God, and we really leave it up to you and put it in your hands to do all the things that we have petitioned before you. And we do all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, 400 and how many other people, how many on Twitter, or not Twitter, but YouTube, for watching and joining us in prayer. I mean, I'm not the one that cry, man. It's rarely something that made me cry, but I really have to hold back some emotions. Thank you, G Mason, for the super chat. I had to hold back some emotions because I'm just so thankful for you guys. I mean, I know that I get in this mood where I'm talking and I'm getting all animated, but you guys don't understand how much you impact me. Like, I gave up a lot to do this for a living, but you guys make it all worth it, because I really see how much impact telling the truth has been in your life. And I see how much you guys are going out and spreading the truth, even sharing it on your pages. It's such a beautiful thing that just cannot be. It just, I don't know. It just cannot be put into a box. My emotions cannot be put into a box. Kathleen asks, how can she donate, please? I don't know if you can just put it on there, Kathleen.
Is she on Facebook?
She's on Facebook.
So if she's on Facebook on your page, commenting, it's in the description of the Facebook. There's a link. It says support this stream. Let me look. Let me just make sure I have this right. But I think it says support this stream and has a link that says streamlabs.com/Brandon Tatum. And it will, support the show. It's right under the description where it says come join me live. It says support the show, streamlabs.com/Brandon Tatum. If you click on that, you can type in just like what you use your PayPal or whatever is convenient for you, and then give however much you feel you'd like to. And if you're on YouTube, you can just use super chats. Super easy. It's right under the comments. So if you go to YouTube, same thing.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys. I really pray to God. That's one thing I should have said in my prayer, but I really pray that God bless you for all the people who donated. It's a sacrifice to donate your time, money, effort, and energy, but I really pray that God will return that to you and bless you as you give and give you more back. I hope God can give you more back. You know, a lot of times, some things that have happened to me is that I remember I paid for a person's lunch at Chick-fil-A, and then 2 people paid for me at Chipotle. It's just like, I'm not saying it's a direct correlation. I'm not saying to give, try to give in order to receive. But what I'm saying is that God will bless you. You know, if you sacrifice and you put your neck out there, man, God will bless you. Exactly what he did on this job, man. I put my neck out there and I said, God, I'm going to tell the truth and I'm just going to have faith. Same thing he's about to do for me at this Freedom Expo. I've never emceed an event like this. I'm nervous, but I say, you know what, God, you gave me this position. I'm going to go for it. I'm going all out. Me and you, we're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be good. I bought me a suit yesterday. I'm going to be looking all dapper. And then I'm letting this grow out because when I cut it, I want it to look a certain way. So I'm trying to let it grow out so I can have it look kind of even around the edges. So forgive me if I don't look dapper right now. But anyway, thank you guys. I love you guys. I love each and every one of you. One day I will see you. If you see me out in the streets or if you see me at a restaurant, feel free to come say hi to me. I'm not a celebrity. I'm just like you. I want you to speak to me. It makes me feel good. I've had people do that. I was at First Watch eating some breakfast, and the lady came up to me after I was done eating. She shook my hand and said she watched the show. I mean, I was more excited than she was. I was like, really? You're like, that's cool, man. I'm impacting people that's like everyday people that's walking around. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, me and Echo gonna get out of here, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 4:30 Mountain Standard Time, 6:30 on the East Coast, 3:30 on the West Coast. Stay tuned and hold the phone.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.